Hello students. Today we are going to study about the hydrospheres, oceans and their circulation. This is a chapter from geography. Hydrosphere, as you all know, is an important domain of our earth. Hydrosphere means, hydro means water and sphere means region. So all the water bodies which are present on the earth's surface is considered as hydrosphere. You all know that 71% of the Earth's surface is made up of water, and the rest of the part is made up of land surface, comprises of land surface. So only the planet Earth has got water, and that makes this planet as a unique planet. So about this 70% of water, 97.3% of this water is in the form of oceans, sea, gulfs and bays. And you all know that ocean water is salty. It cannot be consumed. So only the 2.7% water is fresh water. That also considered the glaciers and ice caps, 0.009%. Underground water is 0.68%. Fresh water and lakes and rivers are only 0.001%, which together with atmospheric moisture constitute 0.0019% of fresh water. So you can see from these statistics that the fresh water is very, very less. That makes the water very precious. And you all know that there is a cycle of water. That means the water changes the shape. Water changes the form. So it has three states. You all know that solid, liquid and gas. So when it is solid, it is in the form of ice, and when it is liquid, it is a form of water. When it is in the gaseous form, it is in the form of water vapor. So the changing of this water's form from one to another is, in short, we can say that it is a water cycle or hydrological cycle. So here is a picture of hydrological cycle. So here you can see that the water from the oceans and seas are evaporating, and the water from the oceans, rivers, ponds, etc. are evaporating and going into the atmosphere, and here it is changing into cloud. That is the evaporated air, water is being condensed here, and that forms the cloud. You all know how the clouds are formed. Clouds, and this clouds further cools down, and when it is not able to contain or hold the moisture, it comes in the form of precipitation. The precipitation goes back into the rivers and ocean. Then again the evaporation start, and then condensation, then precipitation. So it forms a cycle. Its cycle is not breaking from thousands of years. So it is called a hydrological cycle. Okay, I think up to this you are clear. Now we will learn about the oceans. The oceans. We will not basically we will in this chapter we'll learn about the ocean and its different type of circulation, how the ocean movement happens, how the ocean is moving, and whatever the different kinds of movement of oceans are. First of all, the first thing that comes in the mind when we talk about the oceans or sea, that the water is salty, so it cannot be consumed. The water cannot be consumed. So why this water is salty? The sea water is salty because the sea, you all know that rivers are originating from mountains, and at the last they are merging with the sea. So the rivers are collecting or flowing the minerals such as sodium chloride, by which the common salt that we use every day is used. They are being washed away by the river from the land, and they are getting dissolved in the ocean. and thus making the ocean water salty. The salinity of the sea and ocean is on account of these dissolved minerals in water. Means the salinity which is in the sea, that means the sea water is salty. This is because of the dissolved minerals in the water. Okay, and what is the average salinity of the ocean water? It is 35 grams of salt per 1000 gram of water. That means if we take 1000 gram of water, we can obtain 35 grams of salt from that 1000 gram of water. And this varies. Rainfall and melting of ice dilute the average salinity, while increased evaporation increases the salinity level. Okay, that means if there is so much of rainfall and so much of melting of ice, then it can the average salinity can be reduced to a bit, and if there is increased evaporation, then the average salinity can be increased. Okay, now there are some facts which I want to tell you. That world's saltiest sea is the Dead Sea. It contains 1 part of salt for every 5 parts of water. That means if you take 5 parts of water, 1 part of water will be salty. And when the water evaporates, lumps of salt float on its surface. When the water start evaporating in the sunny day, in the warm temperatures, the lumps of salt, that means some semi-solid form of salt are float due to can be seen floating on its surface. So it is so saline that the people who go there will not sink inside. Anything cannot be sink inside it because it is so dense. The water is so dense that the people float on it. They don't get drowned even if they do not know swimming. The world's largest saltwater lake is the Caspian Sea. Okay. So this is clear, I think, why the ocean water is salty and which is the world's saltiest sea. Now we will come to the temperature of the ocean. You all know about the temperature, how the temperature changes. The temperature change on the Earth is depending on the latitude of a place. So the temperature of the oceans are also that the main source of energy is sun, and due to this energy, sun's receiving heat, the ocean water is receiving heat from the sun, and due to this the temperature of the ocean is higher or colder. So basically near the equator the temperature of the oceans are highest, because you know that the equatorial regions are receiving the most heat of the sun because the direct rays are falling on it. Okay, and as we move towards the polar region, the temperature of the ocean will be down because they are receiving less amount of sunlight. And in the northern hemisphere, we have more land masses and water bodies are less. And in southern hemisphere, large stretch of continuous water bodies are there. This also makes the temperature decrease, because water bodies are taking so much time to heat up, and it retains the heat for a longer period. Okay, so temperature of the ocean also decreases with depth. When we go inside the deeper inside the ocean, the temperature will also decrease. Okay, then we will come to the topic ocean circulation. Ocean circulation, you have seen that if you have went to the seaside, you must have seen that many water is moving back and fro, and there are different types of movement. The sea is never calm. It is always doing some kind of movement. Okay, and so this continuous movement from the of ocean water from one part to another is termed as ocean circulation. So ocean circulation is the movement of ocean water from one place to another, and the ocean is never calm. So it is doing different kinds of movement. Now I will tell you how the ocean is circulating. Ocean circulation can be observed in the form of waves, tides, and on a broader scale, ocean currents. So the main ocean circulation are of 3 types: waves, tides, and ocean currents. So now we will discuss what are the main factors that cause the movements of the ocean water. So the main factors that cause the movement of the ocean water are temperature difference, mainly between equatorial and polar water, variations in salinity, rotation of the earth and prevailing wind forces, gravitational pull on the moon and the sun. Temperature difference means near the equatorial region the temperature will be high, and as we move toward the polar region the temperature will be low. So in the near the equatorial region the ocean currents will be warm, and near the polar region the ocean currents will be cold. Variation in salinity means the more saline the water, the temperature will be more in terms of salinity. Rotation of the earth and prevailing winds also have an effect on the ocean circulation. We will discuss it later on. Gravitational pull and the moon. You all know that gravity of the moon causes tides. Tides on the earth's surface. That means in tide the ocean water is pulled up to the shore by the gravity of the moon. So that also we will discuss later on when we discuss about wave class. So in this video, up to this only, in the next video of the same chapter I will discuss about the waves, how the waves are formed, and I will discuss about the tides, how many types of tides are there, and we will discuss about the ocean circulation, how the ocean circulation happens in all through the world, and how it is how the temperature is responsible for the ocean circulation. Okay, so we will discuss the rest of the topic in the next video. Do watch this video and give me your feedback.